Hey folks, this is Pamela here. Thought I'd get on here real quick. I've been keeping up with the R. Kelly trials for quite some time, and I know they have a couple of series that may still be available on Amazon called Surviving R. Kelly and the continuation of that. Um, that motherfucker was found guilty just now. He has racketeering, one count, with 14 underlying acts, including kidnapping, forced labor, and sex trafficking, including violating the Mann Act, 8 counts, that prohibits sex traffickers going across state lines. That motherfucker gonna go away for a long time. Finally, the law worked for a change. I just got the news break over on News 9, WGN in Chicago, and he has been convicted. And it says here, R. Kelly convicted in sex trafficking trial after decades of allegations about sexual misconduct with minors. He is now 54 years old. He's known for the smash hit, I Believe I Can Fly, has pled not guilty to racketeering, charges accusing him of sexually abusing women, girls, and boys for more than 20 years. He has also been charged with multiple violations of the Mann Act, that is MANN Act, which makes it illegal to transport anyone across state lines for any immoral purpose. So yeah, his ass is going to go away for a long time. R. Kelly is finished. And it's about time. He has been doing horrible things to young girls. Let's not forget, he tried to stay married to Aaliyah for a very, very short time when she was a teenager. And he was in his 20s, I think? Are you kidding me? He got away with it for too long. And I remember that interview that he gave with Gayle King. His body language told the story. He may have been pleading innocent, but he was guilty as a motherfucker. You cannot tell a woman when or when not to eat or how to go to the bathroom. You don't pee in young women's mouths. That is just unconscionable. But I'm glad that R. Kelly got convicted. And finally, our judicial system actually worked for a change. He's got like several counts against him, and there are other places that are stacking charges on R. Kelly because he took teenagers across state lines and took daughters away from their moms. Hi. I don't know if you have a TV in your room, but you might want to turn on CNN if you haven't. R. Kelly has been convicted. I couldn't be more happy. Because that sucker's going to go away for a long time. And I don't know when they started deliberating, but I knew he was on trial here for however long he's been. That means he's going to face charges. He's going to face some time. He's going to find some convicted. That means he's going to face some times. So I'll probably have to check my titling on this, but yeah. R. Kelly, for those of you that don't know, R. Kelly was a famous singer known for I Believe I Can Fly and other songs. And he used his platform to gain access to teenagers. In fact, if you want to know the story behind R. Kelly, if you can find it, look up Surviving R. Kelly, whether you can watch it online or you can buy it and watch it on Amazon. It tells the horrible stories of young women being used in the most unspeakable ways. I know he probably had a rough upbringing, but that does not excuse him for doing what he did to young, unsuspecting teenagers. And Olivia Constant was the one woman that helped bring that moron to justice. And Gail King did an interview with him because he wanted to tell his side of the story and possibly clear his name, but it didn't look good for him. And he was going to be facing some serious charges. He's right up there with Harvey Weinstein, using his power and position to have his way with women. And the worst thing he has done to a young woman was peeing in their mouths, to a young teenager, and using them to have his way with them and to treat them like animals. The women were told when they could eat, when they could go to the bathroom, and if they didn't do what they were told, who knows what would have happened. And Olivia Constant was in the Cosby case. Excuse me. I corrected myself. But these young women, including his ex-wife, stood up and told about their tumultuous time with R. Kelly. And it's about fucking time that he was brought up on the rails. You do the crime, you do the time. And you're taking young people across state lines to traffic them for sex. And I think one woman was so desperate to get her daughter back, she went on the hunt for her daughter. And she went up to a hotel where her daughter was. And went up to the room. I guess the manager of the hotel took her up to the very room when R. Kelly was not there, with the mother and a camera crew. And her daughter was in the hotel room, dressed in a t-shirt, black bandana, had her hair cut real short, like a guy, so she could blend in. And the mother went back later and helped get her out of that situation. She went back to him for a very short time, but then finally broke away. And he was hiding and putting a wedge between the girls and their families. And yet there were some of these girls that he was with around the time that he was arrested that still believe that R. Kelly is innocent, but he really isn't innocent. Again, he used his approachable demeanor to have control over women. And for years, they have been fighting to get their souls cleared and their consciences cleared. And I know there are some out there that blame the parents. But, let's look at it this way. There was a lot of secrecy between him and Aaliyah. And I know when she had the short marriage to this guy, at one point she's scared. And it's just really sad that Aaliyah isn't here to tell her side of the story, much less see him be convicted. The guy is a sick, demented monster. And he used his upbringing. He was telling people, I can't read. And I forget who it was that wanted to teach him to read. Then it went from being something so innocent to something so sinister in a blink of an eye. And I'm glad R. Kelly got convicted. He makes good black men look bad. And it's just really, really sad. But he's going to go up the river for a while. Let me see here. They had a red banner at the bottom of the screen here. Hold on. But I'm waiting for my brother to come back so we could have dinner. But R. Kelly's butt's going to go behind bars for a while. Possibly up to 50 years from what I hear. So hopefully he'll get longer than that. let's see if I can get back here. Come on. Let's see. Federal jury convicts R&B singer R. Kelly of racketeering and sex trafficking. And the jury in New York began deliberating on Friday. So holy crap. Deliberations began on Friday and they ended today. So it didn't take long to convict this man. The evidence is out there. There's talk of a P-tape. There's talk of people seeing things that you shouldn't be seeing with an older guy. I think that R. Kelly is a massive sexual predator. Again, money and prestige couldn't buy his way out of the situation that he's in. If anybody's ruined his career, it's R. Kelly. And I, for one, am glad that the law worked right for once. I'm sure that they were impartial jury, so don't try to blame the jury for not being impartial. They weighed all the evidence. I'm sure they have probably heard things that we don't want to hear. And if you want, go to Amazon.com and look up Surviving R. Kelly. And they have an expansion on that particular series. The after effects of what happened to R. Kelly, with R. Kelly. And the sad thing is, he tried to drive a wedge between the girls and their parents. In fact, like I said, one mother went to a hotel and talked to her daughter. And at first, the daughter didn't want to leave. Okay, the woman didn't want to leave. But then she got a hold of her mother again. She goes, well, I'll be back later if you want to come home. I'm here to get you out. I'm here to get you out. And she got her daughter out of that. And it makes me sick. He had the talent. He had the goods. There's no denying that. But if anybody has the rights to I Believe I Can Fly, it's the homebound boy from Akron, James Ingram, who wrote the song originally. So, yeah, that's James Ingram's song, not R. Kelly's. I have one of his albums here somewhere, but I have to find it. But I'll never play I Believe I Can Fly. I have the Space Jam soundtrack, but I may junk it. Because R. Kelly is a cancer in the industry. He's a cancer to black men. And I'm ashamed of him. Like I said, he had the goods, but he has the soul of a wolf. He used his power and prestige to take advantage of young girls, especially when they're still in school. He would go to a high school and pick up girls. Maybe he goes to middle school. I don't know. But he would go to a school and scope out a school or have his flunkies go and find women for him. He'd go to a mall and he'd meet up with girls and say, oh, you're R. Kelly. And they'd strike up a conversation and then he would leave. And then one of his last lackeys would say, well, Mr. Kelly would like to talk to you. And if you're a person with a big dream, that's one hook that they bite into. A scumbag will put his hooks into somebody. If he sees a mackerel, he'll reel it in. And that's what happened. It went on for 20 plus years. Now it's time for him to pay the piper. And any other singer that does this and is found out should face the same punishments. And you know what? Fuck you, R. Kelly. You had the talent, but you blew your career. Not the girls. You. I hope you get a rough time in prison. And I don't mean solitary confinement. I hope they beat your ass up in prison. Because just because you had a rough life doesn't give you license to rape and abuse women. And I felt bad for his ex-wife, who was often shuffled around so that she would not find out about all the dirty dealings that he was doing. And she was pregnant with one of his kids. And she went into labor and had the baby because they couldn't find the kid's heartbeat. But the kid arrived safe, I guess. But she was in full panic mode. She was supposed to go see her OBGYN, and yet his latch keys again were shuffling the wife. She would be up in one room and he'd have another woman in another room. So she would have to ask him if she were to come downstairs. She would have to ask him. And one of the victims went back to the house where the P tape was made. And I guess post-traumatic stress disorder? Yeah. She had to pee in a bucket or do one thing or another. And a lot of parents were fighting to get their kids back. And it's really sad. It's really scary. And when he started going to jail, we knew that surviving R. Kelly was the linchpin to bring this monster to justice, because that's what he is. The absolute clusterfuck that he created himself. R. Kelly, your career is done, and I'm glad it is. I'm glad it is. I hope they lock your ass up for more than 50 years. So I'm glad. I'm glad that the law worked for once. R. Kelly is 54. I just wish that Bill Cosby got the same type of conviction and they could lock his butt up. But they say prosecution witnesses accused Kelly of sexual and physical abuse. Kelly faces decades in prison. So he could be in there for up to 50 years. I hope they give him the maximum, the rest of his natural life, for all I care. Because a predator is a predator. Even his own brother is in prison. You want to know how I know that? They interviewed his black ass in prison. Again, another scab on the African American community. You're not making your brothers and sisters that are black look very good. And you know what? Fuck R. Kelly. He's done. He'll never see the light of day again. And if he does get out, he'll never live it down. He claims he's innocent, but his body language spoke volumes when he was with Gayle King. Truth. And to the victims, I'm sorry you had to go through that. Sexual assault and possible rape sucks. I'm a sexual assault survivor myself. So, R. Kelly, you made your bed. Now you're going to lay in it, motherfucker. Well, I'm going to go over on my home channel and discuss this. Anybody who's watched this here can go over to my home channel. I'll be back on either tonight or in the morning. So, yeah. I'm out. Bye.